everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So, the same year that this movie was made, another movie about the Battle of Britain came out, called of course The Battle of Britain with Michael Caine. That movie is a fucking enormous undertaking and is visually absolutely mega spectacular. If you could have taken the visual storytelling of that movie and put the story of this movie into that movie, I think Eagles Over London could have been one of the coolest, most awesome movies of all time. Now, it is a little bit of a, Bush League product, but it's not without its perks. What are those perks and what is this movie about? That's what we're gonna find out today. This is Eagles Over London. It's France, 1940, and the British army is on the retreat. This is, when they're fleeing towards Dunkirk in order to try to get away from the advancing German troops. And we have a bunch of English-speaking German troops that have killed a bunch of British soldiers, and they take their uniforms and their identities and smuggle themselves over to the other side. So the German army has, sent a bunch of saboteurs into England who is going to help them, with the invasion of the British Isles. One of the problems that the Luftwaffe is facing is, of course, the radar stations, which is probably going to be, their primary target. But a bunch of British soldiers and intelligence people start suspecting that there might be some people within the ranks who are actually, German spies. Can they flush them out? Will this turn the tide for the Battle of Britain? Will they be exposed? One of the spies actually lives with one of our main characters. How long is it going to take before he understands that he is living with the enemy? That is essentially what this movie is about. And I'm gonna tell you straight away, the story of this movie is fucking great. The spy stuff is fantastic, and there is such tension, and the focus is a little bit different than what you would normally expect in a movie such as this. And the characters are cool, and they're likable, and they're kind of different to what you normally see in this type of a movie. So after a while I was like, this is pretty damn excellent. But then things started to go a little bit south, because they were also trying to do a big, war picture. And despite this movie being one of the most expensive Italian movies that has been made up until this point, the flight sequences and the war sequences looks not very convincing, and especially when it comes to the flying sequences, when they're fighting off the Messerschmitts and stuff like that. It looks fucking awful. It looks like something Asylum Films would release or something like that. And when you're having these action sequences with, these microscopical models that, are supposed to represent, industries and stuff like that that's getting bombed, it looks fucking awful. But the question is, can I overcome the hokey acting and the bad flight sequences and the lackluster war sequences because the spy story and the dynamics of our main characters are so good? Yeah, I can sort of do that, because the story is so good and the tension sometimes is so great that, yeah, I can overlook it. It's something that damages the movie, and I would still, prefer them having either a, more clean-cut spy story rather than trying to shoehorn in the Battle of Britain in this movie where they obviously don't have the budget for it. But the question is this a movie that I would recommend to people? Yes, I would recommend it, but with a little bit of a caveat. Just remember that it is an Italian movie about the Battle of Britain, made on what looks like the budget for a Nastro Azzurro commercial or something like that. But it isn't without its perks, as I said. It is entertaining, it has tension to itself, and it has some very interesting dynamics, as I said, between the main characters. It may not fully, save the movie or something like that, but at least it made it so palatable that I can actually say that I do recommend this movie. But under some circumstances, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. Is it too generous to give Eagles Over London 56 points? I do have a soft spot for spy movies within the confine of a World War II movie, so even though parts of this movie looks absolutely Bush League, I cannot overlook the fact that the story is still good enough for me to actually enjoy this movie quite a lot. So see you next time for so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.